the hardest thing to get over, because it's not like you have that opportunity in this present life to say, okay, well, I'm going to run into them again. There's an opportunity that maybe we can work this out. That person is gone. I mean, and it's harder to move past that. And sometimes we don't want to reinvent our space or recreate something different, especially if it was someone that was still in our life and they were just taken. I mean, it was unexpected, or if it was expected. You know, you really don't want to lose those memories, but at some point you would have to kind of move past that. And if you have to, you know, seek professional help to help deal with that, then I suggest that you do that. But it's the hardest thing. Death is the hardest thing to overcome. I mean, knowing personally, firsthand, I know it's the hardest thing to get over. But, you know, for those who are living that are no longer in our lives, you know, once we close that chapter in our lives or whatever, you have to have your mind right in every situation. You don't want to think irrational and just say, you know, I want to change everything in my life. You know, we get into routines, and our routines takes us back to the places that we used to eat, the places that we used to shop, the parks that we used to go walk in, or, you know, just things that we used to do. Still do some of the same activities. Change that. Change the places that you eat. Try something new. There's nothing wrong with when you try something new. Change. When I tell you change is good, change is awesome. You know, if you like going to this particular Chinese restaurant, you know your chances of someone else being at that restaurant, why go there? You're just gonna put salt on the wound. Go to another restaurant. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, go to other games, go to something else, pick up a hobby, try something different. That helps you so much. And I think during this time of the holidays, we're thinking and we're putting ourselves in a rut and saying, oh my God, I used to remember, or we used to do this, or this is what our tradition was for this particular holiday. Start a new tradition. You know, if you have children, just say, okay, we're going to do something different this year. You know, for, you know, our holiday, this is what we're going to do. Just, I mean, think of something that is not the norm for people to do, but just say, okay, instead of us opening gifts at, you know, 12 midnight, exchanging gifts, you know, with our, you know, significant other, whatever, you know, just say, okay, well, I'm going to stay up. You know, you may want to do a movie. Just something, you want to do something different to give yourself the comfort of knowing that you're okay. And it's okay to feel what you're going through. No one say, okay, you shouldn't feel hurt or you shouldn't feel sad or whatever, but you don't want to throw yourself a pity party and miss out on memories with your family and your friends during this time when you know people are coming home, you want to enjoy them. You know, get out of that funk. You have to pull yourself up out of that funk. I mean, when I say you have to literally pull yourself up, reinvent your space, reinvent, recreate, find you all over again. You have to do that. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's the best thing in the world. Because if you can't do that, then you can't expect anybody else to come along in your life and appreciate who you are. No one wants to be around a sourpuss. No one wants to be around someone who is negative and who, you know, is just down in the dumps. I know I don't want that. Especially like when I know that I'm feeling, you know, not the best in the world. I want to surround myself with the most positive people, the most positive energy. I want to listen to the most upbeat songs. You know, I don't want to listen to anything sad. You know, if I get in my car and I'm having a bad day, or if I'm having, you know, just a moment where, you know, my emotions are just kind of taking over me, most of the time I don't even cut a radio on. I don't cut a TV on for at least a couple of hours or so, because that's giving me time to process, why am I even feeling the way that I am? You want to allow yourself to know what you're going through and feel what you're going through. You don't want to just say, well, I need to do X, Y, and Z. I need to go do some retail therapy. None of that is going to help. I mean, that's a here and now moment, trust me, but it's not going to help you get past that. So you want to process it. You want to know, okay, my feelings are hurt because of X, Y, and Z. Now, once you go through that, you have to say, okay, I felt that way, but let's turn this into a positive. I know I'm sounding like a therapist here, but you got to learn, okay, that was then, this is now. This is what I learned from that situation. You know, you don't want to just, pack up your car and move, because if you move somewhere, your problems are not going to, you packing up your problems with you, and you tagging them along. They're tagging along with you. You're not going to get rid of them. You're going to have to deal with them at some point in time. And I suggest people just deal with them. A lot of times we look at other people and say, well, she doesn't look like she's going through anything. She didn't skip a beat, or he didn't skip a beat. Look at him. He's just doing blah, 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 blah. But let me tell you, honey, people are going through it just like you are. They may have a certain way that they do it, but trust me, they have to. In order for them to prosper, in order for them to have a healthy relationship or have something positive go on in their life, they're going to have to deal with whatever it is that got them out of your life. I mean, you see a lot of times, and especially when it comes to relationships, because like I said, a couple of people that I know are going through this, and just reading, is that when you go through this breakup, you can't keep thinking about what this other person is doing, what this other person is saying, because you're going to basically, kill yourself. I mean, emotionally doing that. That's draining. Why? Put the emphasis on you. Let all of it, find some kind of way to let all of that, let that person go. I'm not speaking in terms of if you've lost someone in death, but if it's a marriage that has gone bad, or divorce, or a breakup, find a way. Don't share your problems with people that you know are going to be your cheerleader for the worst. You want someone who is going to be the cheerleader for the best. Don't talk to certain friends, especially if you share friends with this person. I mean, that's the worst thing. Family members, that's the worst thing. And I tell, or have told recently to someone, you got to let it go. You can't, just because that person is not in your life anymore, that doesn't mean you have to keep tugging on and holding on to a family member of theirs, or saying, okay, well, I felt like they were part of my family. They didn't do anything wrong to me, so I want to continue to be a part of that. I'm not saying turn your back on them, but you want to limit while you are reassessing you and learning you all over again. You really need to distance yourself, because you're never going to really, especially if something that's really bad, if it wasn't a good breakup, you don't want to, keep tugging. And then if you don't have children with whomever you no longer have a relationship with, you don't have to carry on a relationship with these people. I mean, what for? I mean, and this is me talking, this is Cookie talking, this is nobody else. But if you don't have children with the person that you are no longer in a relationship with, to me, there's really no instance to why you should be around those family members. If somebody was a good friend of yours, or became a best friend, or whatever, you might just want to sit down and talk with them and say, I want our friendship to continue. However, I got to put some boundaries on it, because you don't want to keep bringing up old stuff. Okay, so I know this is kind of a long video, but the moral of the whole thing that I'm talking about is finding you all over again in a positive way, reinventing your space and making it a happy place for you, so to speak. I mean, you don't want to be down. And I mean, the holiday season, I mean, rather if you celebrate them, or Get out, mingle with your family, visit with your family, your friends. I mean, pull yourself out of the funk, and I promise you, you'll feel a lot better. So just try something different than what you've been trying. Don't just leave behind your friends that you've worked so hard, put energy into, you've gone through so much, because you're going to have to come back and you're going to have to face all of that once again. So that was just kind of my rant for today, only because, like I said, a couple of people that I know are going through so much right now. And, you know, I was on a couple of forums and saw this, and I just figured, okay, well, I'll address it. I mean, you can't fix everything overnight. It's not going to happen, but you can work on things. And every day is a progression towards something positive. I can promise you that. Heartbreaks don't last forever. And if they do, it's only because we're holding on to them. We don't want to move forward. You know, you can find happiness again. You can find new friends again. You can, I mean, you can learn to think of your loved one that you've lost in death with a smile, without crying. I mean, and it's okay to cry. And I suggest if you're going to do it, I mean, I don't want to see you crying, you know, 24/7, but it's okay to release that. There's nothing wrong with it. And it's okay to say, you know, I miss that person, even though it may not have been the best situation or whatever. It's okay, because you're going to miss them, you know. It's okay to go visit their gravesite, you know, and say, and talk with them. Write them a letter. You may not ever send it. Journal. Write your feelings down. I mean, it helps. Anything, I mean, to get you over that hump, I say, do it, go for it, and enjoy life. I mean, it's not the end. I promise you. It is not the end. So, okay, so that was my rant for this moment. I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I know we all have things that we go through, and I just want to be a positive support, and I need it. I mean, I have moments that I go through things, so I needed it just as well. So I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.